This is the ultimate do-it-yourself cold plunge, made from a chest freezer, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I built it. I found a 14 cubic foot freezer on sale for a good price, and it looked like a great unit on the outside, but the inside was a different story. The walls and the floor were really soft. They dented if you just pushed on them. When I pressed against the floor with a screwdriver, it slid all the way through to the floor. This is definitely not going to be strong enough. So, after a brief freak out, I decided I may as well make this a learning experience, and I'll try and figure out where the coils are. I'll peel the skin away. You can see the coils. If I'm going to drill through the sides of the freezer, and that's my plan, I'll need to avoid these. But first of all, I need to get another freezer. This Frigidaire model should work a lot better. It's more expensive, however it was on sale because of some scratches on the top. Okay, let's get started. The freezer will have to hold a lot of weight, so I cut some support boards. I used hot glue to keep them in place on the bottom of the freezer. Then I turn the freezer on to the coldest setting. I'm looking for the evaporator coils, and you can see frost beginning to form around them. I don't see any near the top, so that's a good sign. You can see the warmer condenser coils on the outside with an infrared camera. It looks like I could drill through the bottom, but I'd rather go through the sides. Unfortunately, this side is full of coils, but I think I can go through the back side here next to these coils, and up here between the hinge and the cord. Okay, the cord goes straight down, so I should be able to drill next to it. I need to fit these extra long through holes. So I'll drill just through the skin. Pry away the metal and carefully check that no coils are in the path, because if I cut a coil, then the freezer's ruined. It's clear, so I'll drill through the inside. So far, so good. Now I'm going to mark the lower corner. I'm going to gently cut away the skin and check for coils. Nothing here. This is a coil on the right, but I can go next to it. And I've got a clear path. I'll drill through the inside, and now I have my second hole. Next, I'll seal the seams with Sikaflex nautical sealant. I was expecting white sealant, but black will be fine. I'm going to paint over it anyway, and I guess it's easier to see now. I'll let this dry for a couple of days. I'll use non-toxic pond armor to paint the insides of the freezer and the color sky blue. The epoxy paint is mixed in a 1:2 ratio. It's very thick and runny, so it's best to start at the top. After letting a rough coat dry, I added the through holes, a ring of sealant, and I tapped the lower one into place. I added a piece of plexiglass in back and tightened the through hole securely. Then fill the cavity with expanding foam. I just used white caulk for the top through hole because it won't be submerged. Then I finished painting on the pond armor. I'm going to add blue-gray color chips to the bottom for some texture to prevent slipping. But there were too many dark gray flecks and it looked dirty. So I separated an assortment of only the blue and the white chips. I painted over the floor again and sprinkled on the lighter chips. Much better. The through holes stuck out a little too far, so I cut them down. Chiseled off the threads and sanded them down until the hoses fit. This will allow the freezer to sit closer to the wall. I'm going to also paint the outside of the freezer, so I scuffed up the surface and wiped it down. I'm using a textured paint that will be durable and match the rustic room that the freezer will go in. I'm adding an additional layer of gray paint on the top for a unique look. After trying several pumps, this is the best one I have found at a good price. I'm going to use a UV clarifier instead of an ozone generator. I found it works just as well, is cheaper, and safer. And I'll use this whole house water filter. Simple paper filters work best and last the longest before getting clogged up. The water from the cold plunge will be pumped to the UV clarifier where bacteria and undesirable stuff is neutralized. Then the filter captures all the junk, and clean water returns to the cold plunge. I'm also going to add a drain hose with a valve to empty the cold plunge. So here the water leaves the cold plunge. It goes past the drain hose, to the pump, to the UV clarifier, to the filter, and back to the cold plunge. Now we'll turn on the pump and see what happens. Looks like everything is working. I can drain the cold plunge by turning the valve, and it empties out. Now let's look at the cold plunge final setup. I use this aquarium thermometer to indicate the water temperature. It's mounted to the side of the freezer with hot glue. I use smart plugs as timers and controls. The UV clarifier and pump run together on one. I run them continuously except when the cold plunge is being used. And the freezer is on a separate smart plug. It only runs a few hours each night and after each use. When I'm ready to use the cold plunge, I click on this smart switch, then the room lights turn on along with an overhead heater, and the power to the freezer, pump, and UV clarifier shuts off. When I'm done using the cold plunge, I turn off the smart switch, then the room lights and overhead heater turn off, the pump and UV clarifier turn on, and the freezer runs for an hour to cool it back down. I used cedar pallet wood to build the raised decking and step. On the opposite side is an infrared sauna. A wall clock can be used as a timer, and towels are hung above the cold plunge. Now let's take one more look at the ultimate cold plunge. You'll find links to the featured products in the video description. And if you would like to learn more about meditation, breathing exercises, and healthy practices, please subscribe to Hands-On Meditation. Check out the other videos on this channel and share them with friends.